Hi Taurus, welcome to your mid-November reading. We'll just do a general spread like I always do, and as always I'll leave my information in the box below if you'd like a personal reading. If you've emailed me previously for a personal reading and I didn't respond, please feel free to send me another reading. It's not because I didn't want to. It's just sometimes I get overwhelmed with letters from different people for different purposes, letters of gratitude. I mean, I appreciate them all. I just didn't realize it would be so many. So I've done my best to get everybody their readings, but if I forgot you for some reason, it's nothing personal. I just somehow lost track. So I feel like there must be like 2 or 3 of you out there. I feel like I've done pretty good, but in case that's you, feel free to email me again. My apologies. Right now I'm in Vietnam. I feel the energy has shifted. I feel so much better. So hopefully, whatever passing cloud I feel like October and November were, hopefully it's starting to clear up for you as well. I know a lot of people that I work with in the spiritual community. I even have a teacher. I'm still waiting to hear if he actually took his life. He works with ayahuasca deep in the jungles of Iquitos, which is heavy, dark work, helping people get through a lot of, fear and anger and self-loathing. And when you're that open and you take that on, sometimes it can overtake your who you are, and you lose track of that. So I feel like, especially a lot of highly sensitive, intuitive Tauruses, you guys can pick up kind of on the collective consciousness, and it can be overwhelming, can be hard. And just know that it's not yours. It's an energy to use, to learn from. Let it go. Do your best to stay grounded. Clear your energy. Treat yourself. There's lots of ways to kind of turn your back to those, the heaviness. And it's not about not dealing with it. It's about recognizing what's yours and what's not yours. And not carrying it around. So if you're going through a difficult time still, kind of unload that heavy, it feels like a backpack. It feels for some reason my back. Get a massage, take a salt bath. Salt baths are really wonderful for energy clearing. Light candles. Candles are very transformative. I mean, fires are very transformative. Say a prayer. You could even take it a step further. Write down what you'd like to see leave your life. Burn it. And likewise, write down what you want. Burn that too. Give it to, not to sound too out there, but spirit. Power of prayer. So anyways, shifting energy, let's talk about some of the cards I pulled. Before I started the reading, I actually pulled a more spiritual card from my Vision Quest Tarot. And I'd like to read it, and it's about the moon, which is very fitting. The moon is about the unconscious. Scorpio season, we're almost through it. Thank the Lord. The unconscious, visions, intuitions, the power of life cycles, fertility, dreams, fantasies, romance, acute sensitivity and empathy. Also gloominess, drug abuse, the dark night of the soul. Definitely a dark night of the soul energy. I'm going to just say this one last time. You're not alone if you've been through this dip in October. November, I've seen it with a lot of clients. I felt it. I even took a break for most of the readings. I did Taurus, but most of the readings this month I had to step back because I could feel it. It wasn't going to be right. It wasn't going to be helpful. It wasn't going to be of use to anybody unless I cleared myself. So The inner message here, your inner lunar power connects you to the most secret forces in nature. If you open up to them, you will be gifted with intuitive insight and empathy. Your feminine energies will come to the forefront. You will be capable of grasping the hidden wisdom of so-called irrational forces. Tune into subtle rhythms of your life force now. Notice the pulsations on a biological, emotional, and spiritual level. All developments take place in definite, consciously recurring cycles. Not just the progression from birth to maturity to death. Sadness and grief have their place in these cycles just as much as joy and exuberance. They are merely two poles of the emotional spectrum available to us. Accept the whole spectrum. Don't judge and don't hold on to any state. Recognize emotions as the natural fluctuations in your own life. And typically, like the marking of like a spiritual healer or a shaman, like in a lot of African cultures, the bipolarism and schizophrenia are treated as a spiritual gift and embraced, but it's this capacity to hold massive amounts of darkness. You know, typically a lot of people that have kind of awakened had to go through these massive dips so they can hold massive light. And it's going back to one of my teachers who's helped thousands of people and have experienced thousands of lifetimes of heavy energies of baggage being dumped. That's what they do for a living. Imagine, like, having to process this time after time. You have a big capacity for darkness. But it's like, which horse do you feed, the dark or the light? So I feel like you're in this shift to kind of stop feeding that dark horse now. And it's like, let me turn my perspective to gratitude, everything I'm grateful for. It's like, it's teaching you this subtle shift about... it's almost like awareness. I mean, what you give attention to will perpetuate. It's that simple. So stop giving your attention to the bullshit. So, outward manifestation, your emotional pendulum tends to swing from high to low and back again, making it a bit more difficult to function at work right now. The moon advises you to pay close attention to subtleties. Learn to use your intuition throughout your day. Relaxation and meditation will help, yeah. Sense nervousness and hectic activities smother the intuitive promptings constantly arising from deep within. Even a dreamy state can be useful at work if you don't criticize yourself and allow your energy to move. All discoveries, all inventions, and revelations invariably come from the so-called dreamy realms beyond common logic, and indeed beyond conventional thought. Thoughts may do some of the necessary groundwork, but it's the inexplicable spark of intuition that makes breakthroughs possible. This is a good time to connect your rational aspect with the vaster realms of the irrational. Again, talking about these pendulums. So for a few months, I've been talking about going through a great spiritual growth spurt for Tauruses, and everybody says, you have such great positive readings. It's like, do you know what's involved in spiritual growth spurts? It's always like feeling like you're mad and crazy and nothing makes sense, and lots of tears and lots of confusion. So I'm glad you had positive outlook. I'm glad you've come out, or you're coming out of the other side of this tunnel. To give you something, though. It's here to give you something, which is interesting. I'd like to see what it is with the readings, with the cards. I hope you've realized and come to kind of a conclusion that worrying doesn't really help you. I know you're a Taurus, but it is a time for movement, for action, for change. I feel like if you're afraid of making change, if you're afraid of leaving the comfort of what you do. Think about it in this terms, is what you're doing so fantastically wonderful that you just want to stay there? Because I feel like you're being pushed to move. And the more you stay, the harder you're going to be pushed. So it's about this resistance. You want to kind of be like water, go with water, instead of kind of thrash and splash and swim upstream. It's just the current's going to get stronger, I feel. So I also pulled 3 angel cards. I'll read them. Heart and soul. When making your decision, take into account what your heart and soul are saying. Sometimes the mind can deceive us. Choose through love, not fear. So a lot of these energies, messages about kind of quieting your rational mind, your monkey mind, your brain, and thinking with your heart. I know a lot of people are like, why would you do martial arts? It's like combat sport, Muay Thai. I mean, that's what I'm doing in a few days. I have no interest in fighting, but for me, I'm very curious about, I've heard it's a wonderful induction into the flow state. And it's like you can't really use your mind or you'll get a fist to your face, right? So you have to kind of just be more intuitive. And I like the idea of learning from many different modalities. So the next card says, do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it's the guiding voice of your soul. And the last one is Healing Angel. At this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with the wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. So I feel like a lot of you guys are coming out on the other side of this. And like I said before, I feel like going into Sagittarius season, it's going to be lighter, more fun, more joy, more sociability, less being kind of in this Scorpio space. And it's not like the Scorpio energy, it's everything added to it. There's been a lot of, we're now in Mercury retrograde. It's like, hi guys, if I told you guys what my the day it shifted yesterday or the day before, you typically are the hardest, and I decided to travel that day. Oh, let's travel and do lots of paperwork. Everything was delayed. Everything. I ran across Bangkok to catch a flight at a different airport. Missed the flight, traveled back across Bangkok. Didn't fill out the correct paperwork for my visa. Had to do all this stuff. Finally, I made it to Vietnam. There was a mini earthquake, lightning storm, all this holdups, setbacks, got ripped off by the cabbie. I was like, oh, I should have just slept for the day. So I feel like I'm on the other side, though. I feel like that was it. That was the nail in the coffin. Okay, let's laugh about that. Let's move on. Gosh, that cabbie ripped me off so bad. It hurt my soul. It hurt my soul how badly he ripped me off. All right, what's the central energy for Taurus? What's the central energy for the end of November? What's the central energy for Taurus? Page of Swords, truthful communication from somebody. I don't feel like this is a person. I feel like this is with somebody you need to hear from. So this could be anybody, any suit, any sign. Something's coming in. It's clarity. I feel like it's long overdue. It can't be what you... Well, let's see. What's helping or hindering this? Somebody that was indecisive, and the world tried to flip over as well as the Tower. So it could be with Scorpio, but it could also be with somebody that's very confused, having options, thinking about stuff way too much in their head. This could also be you. So it feels like coming out of a period of deadlock, and the only way to help it is communication, and it's coming in. So that's positive. What's in Taurus's subconscious? What's their higher self guiding them towards? What's in Taurus's subconscious? Three of Pentacles. Building towards something. I feel like this is applying in two aspects to your life, Taurus. I feel like a lot of you are deciding on a new path in life. And it's kind of like an aha moment. Okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to move this direction. This is my truth. And it's almost like admitting it to yourself. I'm going to start putting effort and energy into building this. Because your higher self is pushing you towards building. Could be with another person too. Could be leading you towards partnership if you're single. And it's gonna, if you're single and you're meeting somebody, which I feel like for Tauruses, if you haven't already met somebody, it's long overdue. Now would be the time. It feels like they want to build with you. You guys could be involved in business in some sort of way together as well. Or they would be like a good collaborator if you needed help in some way in growing your own business. If you're one of the Tauruses that are thinking about doing something on the side or opening your own business. Very positive energy here. What's in the past for Taurus? Yeah. Anxiety, worry about the future, sadness about the past, anywhere but the present, anywhere but dealing with where you were. So, yeah. What's the current energy for Taurus? What's the current energy for Taurus? Moving on, mentally moving on. The oarsman is typically God, Spirit, moving you towards calmer waters, yes. Clearer mind, though, more settled mind. Not so much. Feels things are becoming more settled. It's like you'll have a direction. If you're lacking direction, it's here, and it could be with somebody. You could be swept off your feet, some of you. And I feel like it would be long overdue for the ones, I feel like last year was such a, I'm not going to swear. What's the future energy for Taurus? What's the future energy for Taurus? Five of Wands. I feel like there's this energy of when things start coming in that are really positive, and it's like what you've been praying for. It's like, what is? It's like almost like this can't be right for me. This feels too good to be true. Yeah, it's clarified because there's been heartache. So and it's clarified again by the Knight of Cups. So somebody's coming in to make you an offer, and you're like, "What? No. It just hasn't worked out for me. I love, And if you're going through, gosh, if you're in a relationship. If it's new, it feels good. If it's old, I feel like a lot of you are either getting out of a relationship or repairing a broken relationship. Especially, I feel like somebody wants to come back to you, but they're scared of you. This could be a past relationship. We are in Mercury retrograde. You might be hearing from somebody from the past. Because we have Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups, clarifying, this defensive, combative energy, which is clarified by, heartbreak. So it could be somebody coming from back from the past to offer you, their emotional cup, but they're not quite at your level. Make sure, I feel like you're subconsciously defensive for a reason. So it's almost like make them prove it. Huh. They're serious though. They want to give you everything. I feel like they feel like they messed up. Some of you, I feel like, will think, you know what, who cares? They did. All right. And some of you are going to accept the offer. This feels 50-50, actually. Listen to what you want to do. There's no right and wrong answers here. Yeah, so if they were, withholding information, half-truths, not the full truth, those are lies, but it's saying they're coming out of that. You don't allow that. You've made it very clear that you don't allow that in your energy. Whatever this is, somebody that takes more than they give. You don't allow that in your life, and you've made it very clear energetically. This could be somebody from, gosh, I'm picking up on a bunch of signs. I don't know. I don't have the card of Sagittarius. For some reason, I'm picking up Sagittarius. Let me clarify it with the deck, though. Oops, one flew out. Justice could be a Libra from the past. They want to make things right, though. That's ultimately, it doesn't really matter what their sign is. It says they want to kind of clear up karma with you, maybe apologize, maybe speak their truth. Or vice versa. What's in Taurus's environment? What's external to them? Fast movement. Yeah. Yeah, this is fast movement, but it's also, I feel like this person comes in out of nowhere. Sweeps you off your feet, causes you to be like, what, me? Like, they want to offer you stability. I feel like this person's going to be around for a while. The next person you let in, relationship-wise, choose wisely, yes, but be open. This person wants long-term commitment with you. They want to build with you, more importantly, and they want stability. They want marriage, too, which is most Tauruses subscribe to, because they're typically a more traditional sign, and they crave stability. What's in Taurus's power this month? End of month. What's in their power? Again, yes, it's in their power to have a complete emotional fulfillment. But when I feel this card, I'm drawn to their arms being wide open, being receptive, being able to even hold this much lightness. Because it feels like with the angel cards before, it's like this very polarizing energy. So if you're in this really big dip, it can be hard to kind of really switch things up all of a sudden. It's like, wait a second, I'm not done grieving this or thinking about that. You're making me change so quickly, and it's not geared at the person, it's like more at the universe. So it's really needing to accept gifts, Aries got this message also. It's like when somebody offers to do something out of their kindness of their heart, it actually gives to them too. You're robbing them of their ability to give to you, and you're like, oh no, I can handle that. I got it. So when people offer to do stuff for you, be more accepting. Like, oh, really? Thank you. See how that feels. It actually feels nice for both people. Because I feel like you've probably been in such a giving phase, giving energy. Sometimes you can forget that others feel good too when they give to you, just as much as you feel good when you give to you. So when you rob people of that experience, you know, it just doesn't feel like a win for anybody. Like, why would you do that? So being more open, accepting to goodness, to emotion from others, no matter how it comes in, because you never know how this energy will start moving towards you. So you have to kind of accept it all, be open to it all. Because if you're not open, it means you're not trusting what's coming to you. And that means you're still living in the sphere of the past. It's like everything in my past would lead me to believe here. But the challenge is to unlearn everything from the past. That's how we kind of achieve higher knowledge, right? So there's this overarching theme, again, still of the spiritual growth spurt. Okay, you survived the really big dips. Some people did not. What's the outcome? Can you receive all this goodness? This is a really subtle warrior energy. It's like the typical, you typically don't think of warrior, the term, in this way, but this is the hardest part. Anybody can be physically fit and swing a sword. Yeah, okay, that's a warrior. But this, like psychological warrior. Not to be too intense, but it feels like that. What's the outcome for Taurus? What's the outcome for Taurus? Yeah, I feel like just blessings coming in. Feeling happy. Again, after we go the past energy, all this heaviness, to being able to receive all of this light. Lots of cards of hands being open, arms being open. I even did it in the beginning of this reading, before either of these 10 of Cups, or, you know, their arms are open. Maybe give people more hugs, heart to heart. Everybody here has their arms open in your reading, being ready to receive. It feels like a positive shift here. Feeling lighter. The sun feels reflective of, yes, the holidays, being around people, having a joyous experience, being around family, but it also feels like letting the light in again. You know, deciding what brings you joy. Honestly, it feels like something comes in, though. This is unexpected. But you still have to have the shift to see it, to accept it, to keep it, right? Ooh, big energy here, really positive. The Emperor, it could be with an Aries. Chariot moving forward. Some of you guys could be meeting this person and going on a trip, traveling. They could be a business owner, CEO. They could have some fire in their chart, air in their chart, the Empress, the perfect soulmate. Don't let the past creep into the future. Don't let that happen. past is over. Let it go. Drop that heavy backpack of bricks. All right. I think that's all all of the messages that I have for you, Taurus. If you'd like a personal reading, feel free to send me an email. Happy to do that. And if you sent me an email before and I never got back to you, possibly last month I just got overwhelmed, and I apologize. It's nothing personal. Just send me another reminder. Sometimes I need a little kick to stay super organized. And yeah, thank you guys for all your support, your likes, subscribes, shares, and comments. I read them all. You guys are wonderful. And yeah, until next week or so. Bye, guys.